Yes. Insane, mentally deranged, suffering from one or more delusions or false beliefs that have no foundation in reason or reality, are not credible to any reasonable person of sound mind, and cannot be overcome in a sufferer's mind by any amount of evidence or argument. Yes. See insanity. Now, these mentally deranged individuals, right, that are suffering from one or more delusions or false beliefs, yeah, that one have no foundation in reason or reality. I provide to you the actual evidence of what took place on Guam. There is no reason or reality to deprive me of my rights, yes, my sons, and my right to speak to Marilyn about where she wants to live. Yes. There is no reason or reality to not enforce the laws. Then there are not credible to any reasonable person of sound mind. When you issue a court order in 2018 that was not issued according to the RCWs of the state of Washington, yeah, the petitioner didn't sign it, yeah, so it is not enforceable. I was not given any actual notice or opportunity to be heard. Yes, there's fraudulent statements, right, and there is forgery. It does not give any credit to the court to use forgery, fraud, perjury, and abuse of power so that you can victimize American citizens. It's insane. Yeah, insanity. That every day I tell you what the law says, and every day you sit there deciding I would rather be insane than enforce the requirements of law. Now, this thought of me motioning a court that allows for the insanity of a court commissioner, yes, to issue a protection order, or from June 1st to June 1st of 2015 to June 12th of 2015, yes. No attempt of service, yes. Quite possibly the petitioner didn't motion the court. It could have been, yeah, that somebody took it upon themselves to be the fiduciary of myself and my sons, yes, without any actual authority of law. Insanity. It is 100% insane to allow for any person to motion the court without written authority from the petitioner representing the petitioner. Now, reissuing the temporary protection order, yes, you scheduled a court hearing 48 days, yes, after issuing the temporary protection order when the actual law only allows for 14 days. Now, this insanity, known as the judicial system of the United States, it is an insane delusion, irrational, this persistent belief of some imaginary state of facts that I would not sue you and have you put in prison for that. Ooh. Now, somebody is going to have to remove the insane, yes, from their authority, yes, because of the insanity of what the fuck you're doing. You're insane. There is nothing you have done in this court system that has any resemblance to the actual laws of the state of Washington. And for every oath of office that thought that myself, in my sanity, would not personally, you are insane in what the fuck you're doing. Now, not credible to any reasonable person of sound mind. Every time you scheduled a court hearing since my arrest for the failure to appear, yeah, absolute insanity. I wasn't in Bryn, Washington, and I documented the crime of child abduction, kidnapping, color of law violations, and hate crimes. Now, this domestic violence that you're committing when you decide to cancel the court hearing yesterday, you seem to think, yeah, that you're going to get me in a mental institution because of your abuse of power and your pattern of domestic violence. Yes, and that I, as an American citizen, will never be able to sue you. Poop. Now, I know it's a pattern, it's a learned behavior of abuse of authority. Yes. Now, this domestic violence, that happens to be oaths, badges, and attorneys. Yes. Every time I put one of these little sign here's, yes, that's an actual lawsuit. Now, this is what I want you to do. Do you understand, Chief of Police? I want you to enforce the laws of the United States. I want my sons removed from the violence and the abuse of their mother. Pooh, pooh, pooh. I want our victims' resources and victims' rights enforced. And I want to speak to Marilyn Van Proyn about where she wants to reside with her children because of the abuse and violence of Mike Van Proyn's way of doing things. Now, this whole idea of the pattern of the learned behaviors of those that are violent, your thought is, well, we'll get him back in the homeless shelter. We'll electrocute him. We'll put some more boils on his ass cheeks. Yes. We'll rip his teeth out. We'll continue to cough him until he has a heart attack. And there's no possible way that this American citizen will be able to sue you, yes, and have you go through some rehabilitation and offender accountability. Now, there are multiple areas to consider: the history and the context of the violence between you, the oath of office, and me, the victim citizen. Oh, the seriousness of my injuries. You know, last night I brushed my teeth and I noticed that my teeth are breaking again. Yes, I noticed I have a big boil like experience on my backside that causes me pain all day long. Yes. And then there's this whole thought of you continuing your pattern of abuse. I think those children that belong to myself and Marilyn Van Proyen, yes, they've had to experience your abuse and your violence long enough. Now, just looking at my phone here, okay, I haven't gotten any phone calls. Yes. It's 2:10. I have approximately 40 more minutes. Yeah. And in 3 days, 23 hours, 49 minutes, and 44 seconds, right, you're going to require me to go to court because you're going to continue your abuse of power and violence. Now, by my estimation, I have 71 years to live. Yeah. I'm not wanting to be homeless. I don't want to be separated from my family. I'm wanting those lawsuits. Yes, they're going to require my signature, and since I'm Paul C. Budnick, and you decided you're going to see my name on a lot of documents. Now, why don't you enforce my right to sue you today and have you put in prison? Okay? Because the reality is, everything that you have done is in violation of the laws of the United States. Okay, yeah, let's do that today.